if you're not aware, a power of attorney is about putting somebody in charge of your affairs at a time where you're not capable. So that could be that you're either mentally incapacitated or physically incapacitated. It's about you having the right person and having that choice. Because if you don't have a power of attorney in place, then there's a process that you have to go through. And it's a lengthy one and it can be very expensive. I know of where we are, whose mother has unfortunately just started to show the signs of dementia, and they were able to sort out a power of attorney beforehand. So they've had to go to the Court of Protection, and it's taken almost a year, and it's cost over £2,000. So the family have had their hands tied, they can't do anything for the mum-in-law. During that time, while the Court of Protection actually decides who is the deputy who will be able to make the decisions regarding finances and care. So I know that all of us would prefer, to have somebody look after us, make those decisions for us that we know and knows us, rather than have somebody else make those decisions for us. So that's what a power of attorney does. Now, they've been around for many, many years, and they've gone through various developments. The original power of attorney was literally called a power of attorney. But the big difficulty with that was it could look after your financial affairs unless you became mentally incapacitated. An enduring power of attorney was introduced, and this wonderful word enduring just meant that in the event of mental incapacity, that attorney could continue to look after your affairs for you. Then, they've now introduced a lasting power of attorney, and this is probably about 3 years ago. And the difference between a lasting power of attorney and an enduring power of attorney is that an enduring power of attorney can look after your financial affairs. But an attorney who is responsible for an enduring power of attorney cannot make any decisions on your health and welfare. So if you need to have care at home or go into a home for care, an enduring power of attorney doesn't have the ability to make those decisions for you. A lasting power of attorney now does. So there are 2 forms of lasting power of attorney. One is financial affairs and the other one is health and welfare. So for anybody that has an old style power of attorney, they really should look at changing that and updating it. If you have an enduring power of attorney, then really you ought to consider having a lasting power of attorney for your health and welfare. It's one of those things that I say anybody at any age should consider, because you don't know. Illness and accident can strike at any stage. So if you've got it there and it's never needed, fantastic. However, if you've got it there and it is needed, it'll make things a lot easier for your family, because they can then at least, they know your wishes. If they're the attorneys, they can step in immediately and look after you the way that they know you want to be looked after.
So are you saying there's 2 power of attorneys that you should get, or is the lasting power of attorney of the umbrella of the...
The lasting power of attorney comes in 2 forms. So if you don't have a power of attorney at all at the moment, and you would set up a power of attorney, then yes, you would need, ideally you would need 2. Right.
The lasting and the enduring.
So they're both lasting powers of attorney, but one's for finance
and
money, and the other one's for health and welfare. You can complete the forms. You don't actually have to register them. So it's almost sort out what you want while you're fit and healthy enough to do so, discuss with the people that you'd like to be your attorneys so that they know they have that responsibility, and they have a chance to discuss with you exactly what you would want to happen in certain circumstances. And then in the event of needing it, you can then register. So You can download forms and do your own lasting powers of attorney, so it doesn't cost you a penny. You can go to a solicitor and set them up. If you do it yourself, I say it doesn't cost you anything. When you come to register, there is a fee, of course, because it has to go through a government body, as we were discussing earlier. The fee I've checked is now £130 per power of attorney. But as I say, if you set one up and you don't need it, then it hasn't cost you anything. But at least it's there just in case.
So when you need it,
Yes?
and you're incapacitated, well then it's too late, isn't it?
No, because if you've done the paperwork,
And they know where that paperwork
and they know where that paperwork is,
So
yes.
can that person register you?
Yes.
Oh, I see. It doesn't
Yes,
have
you
to
don't
be-
have to register it yourself.
Oh.
It's your attorneys that can register it. So yes, while you're compos mentis, you set the paperwork up. When you go gaga, your attorneys register it for
But they would have to pay that. Oh no, they wouldn't have to pay it. Come out of your
get away from the pain.
you. Somebody pays for it. They don't mind who, just as long as they get paid.
So when you come to register, it would be 2 times 130
Yes,
if you set up both.
that's right.
And for the power of attorney, will you choose 2 different people to do these powers?
I would normally recommend so. I mean, quite often for a couple, you tend to get the other spouse, who is one attorney. However, and we came across a case for one of our clients quite recently, the husband and wife were attorneys for each other, and that was the only attorneys they had, and yet they're both elderly. And the danger is that if it's the husband who has the wife, if the wife is fit and healthy at that stage to be the attorney, she may not be always. So I would always recommend to have somebody else. Now that can be a friend, a relative, children. You can have a professional, you can have a solicitor. I would always say try and choose somebody probably closer to you, somebody who knows you and would actually know what you want in certain circumstances.